Hi, these comments are for CS. I got your email yesterday, and let's take a look at your situation. So I am CS. I think I'm going to correct this, a second year BE student, maybe, at the RV College of Engineering in BKN, so the city and then the country. I would probably say it like that. I would just say here my. My problem is that I understand everyone's English. Maybe in addition, or say for example, maybe. I watch English films. English videos on YouTube. And any other videos which I'm going to just say are in English. How about in addition, I can read anything in English and I will understand it. I can read anything in English with, how about good comprehension. I can write well and I know grammar. How about, and I use grammar competently. And I would probably end the sentence at this point, say, however, if I start to speak to someone in English, I will get stuck in the middle and I will not be able to continue my conversation face to face. However, if I start to speak in English or start to speak to someone, I will get stuck in the middle and I will not be able to continue my conversation face to face. And I would change this to maybe, if you wanted to, nonetheless, I text everyone in English neatly. And then maybe, therefore, maybe comma, can you please let me know how. It's not how can I, it's how I can, because you want to use a noun clause with statement word order here after that independent clause. So, can you please tell me how I can overcome this problem? I have to learn to speak well and to be fluent in English to everyone. How about because it's my dream? So, I don't know. I mean, you said here that I can write well, I can use grammar competently. I don't believe that. I don't think that is true. I mean, if you look at what I did here, I mean, you got a lot of problems with your grammatical correctness of the sentences you're putting together. You seem to have a lot of vocabulary and grammar limitations. And those things exactly affect your ability to become fluent or to speak fluently, right? There's at least three things that you can do that I think will help you with your speaking proficiency so you don't feel like you're getting stuck, when a conversation begins. Because remember, when you begin a conversation, you typically start off with kind of general ideas, which is pretty easy, but then as a conversation progresses, it'll get more and more specific with more and more detail type language. So sometimes you're okay when you get started, but once you get to the more specifics, you seem to have trouble there. So I think improving your vocabulary, you need to have really good vocabulary in both common, very basic vocabulary of English and also college level vocabulary. So that's really the first step, is to work on that vocabulary. Number two, your grammar is not as good as you believe it is. You have a lot of grammatical issues. I believe that these grammar limitations are also preventing you from fully expressing your ideas. Usually students' grammar is much better in the writing than it is in the speaking, right? So if you already have a lot of problems grammatically when you're writing, then I have to assume that you also have grammar problems when you speak. Okay, so that's my second suggestion, is improve your grammar proficiency. Number three, you now need to improve your speaking proficiency, right? If your vocabulary is really good and your grammar is pretty good, you now need to focus on putting this together in speaking, right? So how about this? If you go over to onlinetoeflcourse.com, right, you'll notice I have a free speaking practice test evaluation. So why don't you go and do that practice test? Take a free speaking practice test, send it to me by email, and I'm going to take a look at your speaking, and I will look at it in three areas. I'll take a look at your pronunciation and what kinds of problems you're having there. I'll take a look at your language use issues you might have, and also your topic development issues. So I think if you do that free speaking practice test, I can give you a little bit better assessment of your speaking proficiency and the limitations you might be having, and then I can suggest, I think I most certainly have different services that will fit your budget, and I certainly have different kinds of courses that can help you to improve your speaking. So you can investigate some of those things also by going to onlinetoeflcourse.com. But I think what you're doing right now is great. You're listening to English. That's very good. It's the more input you get, the better your output's going to be. Now, you didn't say in the message, when I'm looking at your message up here, you said that you're doing a lot of really, really important things, but for how long have you done these things? 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? Or have you been doing these things for 1 week, 2 week, or 3 weeks? So what you're doing here, keep doing. So as you watch English films, for example, you can take down some notes and then practice re-explaining that information. If you're watching English videos on YouTube again, you can watch that video, you can jot down some notes, and you can practice orally summarizing that information. So when you're reading, this is also important. As you're reading English and reading articles and things, you can take down notes again and then practice re-explaining that information. And that can be very helpful, obviously, for your integrated speaking skills. So keep up the good work. It sounds like you're doing a great job, right? And to help you improve in your speaking, as I said, build your vocabulary, improve your grammar proficiency, and then improve your speaking proficiency. And a good way to start is to complete a free TOEFL speaking practice test at onlinetoeflcourse.com so you can see exactly what your speaking limitations are right now. All right? And thank you for your question.